different years, but I think that one I was a writer on, maybe a producer. That one was filmed at my house too, which is funny because one of the other ones I worked on was Gaia, the one before that.
Yeah.
And the last scene when she's like burying him, that's also in my yard. And then Jennifer's in both of them, so it's kind of funny seeing them back to back like that, because it's like, is this a
Different
continuation
spaces.
of the same story?
Well, the best producers are the ones who put their house for us to, create stuff. So, hooray.
I asked myself for permission and I said yes.
There you go. In regards of this film, it is a one take, right? Which is
Yeah.
probably
I'm curious, did anyone notice that?
the camera
Okay.
never cuts.
Yeah.
Lights, sound, action, and the entire 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Camera never cuts. That's a
Yeah.
very challenging thing.
And there's a lot of intricate choreography going on in there. Like the camera's spinning around, there's people walking by, like all of that had to be like perfectly timed. But yeah, I mean, I think we did it like only like 7 times. I mean, it was Simon Bonneau is the cinematographer, director, brilliant French man who I think he had done the 48 enough times that and he's like a wedding videographer. He was like, and it was in the middle of busy season. And he was like, look, I want to do a oneer, and it's just going to be easier because he's shooting it, he's editing it. So yeah, he wanted to do that as a creative challenge, and also because he wouldn't have to be, filming all day long. It's like we did like 7 takes. So we were like wrapped at like, I don't know, 3 p.m. or something on Saturday, which is like unheard of.
Yeah, it's a privilege, I would say.
Yeah.
The production design was very well done as well. Have everybody on their costumes and the lighting in a way that you couldn't see it on camera, but still there was a lot of ambience.
Yeah, all that too. Yeah, because we had someone with a boom pole following him around the whole time. So, and that one like hallway is pretty narrow. So it's like, yeah, we had to rehearse how it was all going to move and have that make sense. Because when you have him holding like a camera and a harness and all that, and then a guy with a boom pole behind him, but yeah, it was a really fun challenge. And I don't really act that often. I like doing small things like that, and that was having one of my acting roles being like for a 1 take 48 hour, where I could screw it up. Any single person could screw it up at any moment. That was a high pressure thing.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. So yeah, very cool, man. There is a correlation as well on between this film and the third film that we saw, the mockumentary. Can you remember that one with the girl that is an influencer?
The influencer, yeah.
And out of nowhere, okay, I gotta.
Yeah, I feel like that's always a kind of an important detail, is like what genre the film is, because I don't know as like the co-director of that film whether it's clear that it's a mockumentary. I know like there's the guy that walks in with the camera and you can see him in the reflection, and every time I think, is the audience thinking that's a mistake? Because it was on purpose, but like if you didn't notice that it was mockumentary, or the genre changes everything about the film.
Yeah, I think I've learned quite a few details as well of different genres because of the competition itself. There is a lot of people involved, cast-wise. All these guys who came to try to get the girl, the lineup outside. The same amount of people on this last one film, and so
we had, I think, 15 people cast and crew, and every person on the crew was in the film as well, including me. So yeah, it was like, intense.
Nobody could hide from it. Like
we needed everybody. It just kind of worked out that way.
How have you experienced the collaborative process in these projects? Because you've done it a few times. So.
Yeah, I've done it. I've only ever done it in Nashville. It'd be cool to try it somewhere else, but I've done it like 6 or 7 times here. The collaborative process. Yeah, I mean, I feel like each year you learn something new about you learn a lot of new things, but how to collaborate better, how to like have a smoother film set. Like, I think I have my own issues with Baby Darling, but I feel like we could have established the female lead better, have her own desires, her own agency, that sort of thing. But I feel like it was the best run film set that I had been a director on. And that was just from years of doing it and making mistakes, and then trying to get people involved, but also, like you said earlier, the super clearly defined roles, because if you don't define who the writers are and who the certain things, it can get messy, and not in a fun way at all. So it's very helpful to have that, yeah, just distinct, so that the people can, because like the way that I do it for the writing is that like we had I think 4 or 5 people on the writing team, but for the first hour it's like, so we get our assignment like 7:30 on a Friday night, and then just as soon as we get the genre, like everyone, the whole team, 15 people, come to my house, and then for like an hour we just brainstorm over like what we want to do and all that, and then like once that timer's up, once that hour's over, it's like, okay, only the writers now, because if you let that go, it'll go to midnight.
True that. Yes.
And so yeah, and then you try to have like a script done by like 1 to 3 in the morning, to then wake up at like 7 or 8 to
It's
start
indeed a very
shooting.
hectic weekend.
So Charlie, my co-director, she was one of the editors, and then we had Beth, who was an assistant editor. And I think the film that won this past year, blanking on the title, but the wrestling one, they had 3 editors, and it's like you can just always use more editors, because the more time you have, it's like, hey, this person can sleep for an hour, and then this person can keep going. And
Yeah. It happened to me. I had somebody assigned to be the editor of one of the films, and when I went to their house, Sunday morning, they were freaked out. She was like, I can't do this. It's too much pressure. And she was like actually shaking, and I was trying to comfort her, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I have a film to edit and deliver, So how do I? So at the end, I took charge of editing. And I remember that I left 6 p.m. that place straight to go eat something for the entire day, and I was shaking as well. So
Yeah.
those are the moments in which, I've told to myself, I'm not doing this again. But then
Yeah.
you end up doing it again because it's an
Yeah,
addiction. And
I've had that feeling before, where it's
right.
over and you're like, I'm never doing that again, and then like 11 months passes and I'm like, well. But yeah, I think the editors they're the unsung heroes of the 48
Do
for
that.
sure.
And it's nice to see, like, for instance, you now coming down here, to watch a few of the films you've been involved after a few years that you've done it. And there are things that you see and grow with you in your career as a filmmaker, as a creator with you. So on the next thing you're going to do, now okay, what I learned from that, I'm going to do it differently. So that's kind of a journey. The 48 hours is kind of, I guess, for everybody who has participated, is alongside with our growth in the profession.
For Bring a Towel, how did you do the sound? Was it all just a shotgun mic or people mic'd up? That was a lot of people talking, and it was all crisp and clear, which I know was hard.
Fantastic.
That's a good question. It was probably like clip-on lavs like these, and then there was definitely a guy with a boom pole just kind of, trying to predict it. Because it's like, it's really just the 2 main characters that are speaking for the most part, so that made it a little easier. But.
Yes.
How do you go about constructing your team? Like, what do you think about as you're getting the people together?
Yeah, every year I have this thought of like, I'm just gonna do a super small team, and it's just bare bones, and we're gonna like cull it together and do something really simple. And then I'm always doing a complicated storyline with like 15 people. There's David, who was the long hair cream corn one, and
Gaia.
and he's the one that does his films by himself, which I never really understand, because he also makes brilliant films, and then he acts in it and edits and all that. But so in theory, you can do it as just one person, but I think like a minimum for me would be, a director, an AD is super helpful, an editor, a sound person, a camera person, and that's 5 without any actors.
And then you go to bed, wake up, and you say, well, maybe I can add an assistant director, maybe I can add an assistant editor on the list.
And a producer, finding the locations ahead of time. They're all like, the editor again is the unsung hero, but like, it's film. Every role is important, so.
Now, as far as getting a team together, there's like on the last event that we did, meet and greet, somebody from Greenville came because he didn't have a team, and he met a few filmmakers that day. So part of doing this film festival is also putting together some events in which people can get together and meet each other, between casts, actors, filmmakers. And we're having one tonight as well after these events. Other questions before we say goodbye tonight? No?
It's a great opportunity to, flex a creative muscle. Like, I'm a software engineer by trade. Like, I don't work in film. It's just the 48 is usually the only time that I make films because it's so easy to, well, it's relatively easy to make it in a weekend versus if you're making a regular short film that could take months, years, like,
Ooh, we're on the blues now.
you know, yeah, all of that. So it's a great opportunity, and it's like you don't have to be a professional filmmaker. You can do it on your phone. Like you can, you know, just
Yeah,
give it a shot. There's like, you know, high school kids that do it, and they're just getting better each year. So yeah,
their phones.
anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it, and there is so different. I mean, if you think of maybe, okay, I want to do this to win an award or even just be nominated, there are so
Not a
many
good
different
reason.
categories. So even if you have the best camera, best color profile, you know, or smooth movements, there are still a lot of good things just by content as they are. Like when I was in Filmapalooza in Paris, I saw a few films that had won in their cities, and their format was almost like TV format, you know, like aspect ratio 4:3 with a hand cam from those Sonys or Panasonics from the 90s, 2000s, like the one they shot 8 days later, the horror movie. And from a technical aspect, I wouldn't worry too much. I would just, if I have the desire, the passion to do it, go ahead and do it. Every year it gets better. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
a fun time. That's why I keep coming back and doing it.
Are you doing it this year?
I'm gonna make that decision today because today is also the last day for early bird, right?
Yes. Well, everybody, can we give Steve a round of applause here to Ryan? Thank you, brother, for joining us.
And one for Raul for putting this on. He's
Thanks, sir.
been doing a great job organizing this.